Alright, so a bit of a light server going on in this one, but should hopefully be filled rather quickly. But looks like we'll be getting underway here shortly. But yeah, we'll see. Probably not going to be a super active commentary here in this one. Go full track map, and we'll pull up lap data. But yeah, it's going to be Cam Ruddy leading it out. If we do have just 13, it might be an early ending to the stream, or it might just be being online to, see it. But I don't know. Definitely, not standard for Group 2 to have such few drivers. Stratting, if you are listening, if you could invite Ass Pancakes when you get a chance. Just to, at this point, try and get some more on the grid. But Hungary, definitely, very interesting circuit. Definitely very prone to incident now and then. With Cam already coming out of the final corner. You got, of course, the long blast down to turn 1. Best overtaking spot on the circuit. Very hard braking zone. Viper is saying he doesn't like the circuit. I disagree. I really really enjoy Hungary, even though it didn't go great for me in the Group 1 race yesterday. Just because it's, you get a decent, bit of challenge from it. It's Monaco without the walls being quite so close. Where, I definitely like that about it. Definitely brings in patience. You got to be pretty precise. Overtaking is at a premium. So, it means you have to get a little bit creative. You, of course, got that chicane there, which is what turns, I believe, 6 and 7. Got this kind of faster flowing section here of 8 to, I believe, 12, which, pretty close to flat out. Got to lift a little bit here and there, but 53.8 through the first 2 sectors for the Ferrari driver. I think at the much slower sector 3, where, again, you might see a couple of overtakes around here, but again, the most main spots where you'll see overtaking is the run into turn 1 and run into what I guess is technically turn 3. As far as that can't get it. Cam Ruddy setting the bar with a 15.4 as the first lap time on the board. Rostamol comes in with a 16.2 behind him. Got the McLaren of Viperize diving into the pits real quick. Alcoholic did invalidate that lap. It would have been a 120.6. Viperize, of course, serving a quali van. Gabi Cho just starting a lap. Let's see, anybody else? I believe Dawson just starting a lap as well. Let me try to get in driver number 15. As God Pancakes has left the session. So we'll see what happens there. But I don't know if he was just unable to take control or what happened. As there is Pancakes. Camerati still top of the timetable. Stratting, just getting a lap underway. Sayao with a 128.9. That was an invalidation. Got Ollie Jelly's McLaren coming to the line. That'll be to the top with a 14.9. And haven't seen Isha join in yet. I'll go ahead and send another invite, see if that will sort it out. There's Strakosaur joining, so that at least makes it 15 drivers racing in the lobby. But Ollie Jelly goes top. Alcoholic 16.1, Gavicho 15.2. So a couple of times starting to show up on the board now. Boyd Dawson, only a 16-6 from him. Apologies there, just trying to communicate with other drivers as to how to take control over a car. We got Gavicho coming around the final couple of corners. And he'll dive into the pits, so probably not enough fuel in the Haas. Actually, the Haas, plenty of fuel, so could have gone for a couple extra push laps, but didn't opt against it. Find that Williams coming around. Again, that is Dawson. So yeah, 16-6 and was a bit down on that time. Got a Ferrari coming around as well. That's Formula Jonah. I think just getting set to start a lap. And then Haas Seau also seemingly just kind of trundling back around. STT is a 4.0. Ollie Jelly celebrating that he's back. Yeah, Viperize, that's pretty quick. I think I only got down. I don't think I got into the 13. I think I was still in the 14s pretty much the whole time. Yeah, Jonah, a bit of an invalidation there, about matched his first sector time. Going to do sector 2, would have been down a second as we stayed on board. Yeah, Ollie Jelly saying his second sector was a bit of a mess as well. Dawson 16-0. Yeah, number of drivers looking to get second laps up on the board. I will try to re-invite Guardian Knight. And actually, dive into the pits there. Alcoholic 16-1 on the board. Oliver Sperry, that is... that's Formula Olive, so if you're getting requests to join from him, he is on attendance, so if you're able to invite him, that would be appreciated. I believe, or sorry, Oliver Spurl, I believe. So yeah, he is in LSR. He joined the game. Okay, well that's good. Pancakes was the other guy. Stratton goes to the top with a 14.8. So good lap time from the V-Carb driver. came up saying he joined. Well, that's good. Camerati goes about 3/10 quicker. That's a 15-0, so a good lap from him. Formula Jonah slided in 5th. It does look like we'll have 16 drivers here, if I am not mistaken. As there goes Oliver Spurl. Yeah, I don't know why the invites to Guardian are not working, as Spurl has left the session. So he definitely could have stuck around, but I did just see that he has left. So I believe that drops us down to 15. Alcoholic invalidated Rostamol on a lap, but he is down on his time. Strakasaur up 2/10 though through Sector 1. We'll go ahead and stay on board with the Alpine as he makes his way around. Actually, we'll jump to Eric's Aston Martin to figure that out. But here comes the Aston around the final corner and powering to the line. DRS going to open up, and it's a lap time good enough for P3 from him. So good showing there. So we'll jump back to Strakasaur, who then lost about 3/10 through the middle sector after picking it all up in the first. He'll power to the line. That lap time not going to be an improvement. He'll stay 10th. Striking him out, looking to be on another push lap, about matching his time through the first 2 sectors. So I think took a recharge lap there and trying to go on a little bit less fuel as we go under 6 to go in quali, and he's actually going to dive into the pits. So I think a bit of a mistake there in that final sector. So not working out, and he'll pull into the pits and prep for a final push lap. We will jump on board with Kendricks, though, as he makes his way around, making his way through the S's section now. 54.8 through those first 2 sectors, and seemingly a bit low on battery, as that red light is flashing at the rear, so potentially taking an extra setup lap to get those tires into the temperature he wants them. As it does look like he'll go again, rounding that corner at about 1:11, so yeah, definitely not going to be a super competitive lap time from Kendricks, though it will be a lap time on the board, a 16.7 from him. But Kendricks and Seau, only drivers on track at the moment. We'll go ahead and jump to Seau as he makes his way around, but 3.4 seconds down, so he'll probably dive into the pits here. Prep for a final push lap, so we'll jump to Kendricks, who only about a 10th up, got picked up about half a second now through that middle sector, and we know that he shut off that ERS as he was pushing through Sector 3. But needs to pick up a lot of time here. But here he comes through the final corner. DRS open, pushing to the line. Kendrick's good enough for only P7, and that'll probably be the end of his qualifying. Teammate as well, Strakasaur, coming out to get his lap in. Gavicho as well in P5. So it does look like we'll have 16 drivers here around the Hungary. Of course, provisional still LSR stratting by less than a tenth of a second. So as we start to kind of close here in this single qualifying session, yeah, Shaxor making his way now through this first sector. Looked to be a little bit of a lockup and getting heavily on that inside curbing, which is not what you want to do. And of course, now you get the run up the hill into turn number 4. Straxor up about a quarter of a second, so picked up a good chunk of time. I think turn 2 probably what was giving him the biggest of problems there. They're coming up into the chicane of 6 and 7 now. And of course, you got 8, which, you know, a little bit of a lift for 8, a little bit of a lift for 9. Then it's about flat out through 10 and almost 11 as Gabicho goes top with a 14.6. So great lap time there. Straxor lost a lot of time, though, in that middle sector, getting a little bit on the curb on the entry of turn number 11. And is going to have to slow well down as we make it into 12. And, yeah, going to abort that lap effectively. As a bunch of drivers setting up there. So we'll jump to the man who's provisionally P2 then, as Debo retires from the session. So he'll start 14th. But Stratting making his way now through the middle sector, out of turn number 10. Good exit there and up over a 10th. He makes his way into 11. And he got just 2 corners left to go. What I believe are 12 and 13, if my math is correct. And of course, this exit here, really important. Can take it with pretty much just engine braking if you have that setting high enough. But here comes Stratting out of the final corner. Can he unseat Gabicho? He will temporarily with a 14.559 as qualifying does expire. So Ollie Jelly might be somebody who can fight it. He cannot, though. He'll go into the wall. And is actually going to just crash and retire his car that way. It's very easy to just make a little bit of a mistake there. Eric then making his way through the middle sector. Gabicho finishes, so he'll start provisionally P2. Eric making his way through, flirting with track limits, and he will invalidate. So that lap time is over, so Cam Ruddy behind him is going to be one of the few drivers that has a chance to improve. Isha slots into 6th. Formula Jonas 7th, Alcoholic 8th. Rustmal will dive into pits. He's done. Kendricks will only start 10th. Here comes Ruddy out of the final corner. We'll get a little bit of a tow here. And he'll improve up to 3rd. So good there from him. Dawson is down and everybody else diving into the pits. So it is going to be Stratting on pole, followed by Gabicho, Cam, Ollie, Eric, Isha, Jonah, Alcoholic, Dawson, and Sayao. All set. As we move into the next session. Quick reminder to all drivers who can hear me. Do not ready up immediately on the grid. Do not ready up immediately on the grid. There will be a 2-minute break between the start of... between the cars being on the grid to allow for time to edit strategies and maybe take a leak if you need to do so. So please do not ready up immediately. Thank you. And there's the bit of, you know, and there's Mud Voice. So, oh wait, I'm still not muted. Hold on. But there we go. But yeah, it is going to be Stratting on provisional pole. And again, Hungary, you know, definitely a hard, you know, it's going to be by less than 10. But yeah, Hungary definitely a tough circuit to overtake. Does seem that there were no yeah, there were no penalties, at least in terms of grid drops. We'll have to see where this all ends up going. But yeah, should be 16, maybe 17 on the grid. Yeah, DXT Ferret definitely rooting for Formula Jonah, who definitely has had, a solid qualifying there, and has had a pretty solid season from what I can remember as well. Ferrari, of course, sitting second in the drivers, and Jonah currently second. Ferrari second in the constructors, and Jonah himself sitting second in the drivers. Really trying to take the fight to Alpine this season. But yeah, 4-point gap up at the front. So it's going to be, battle to watch will be, Strakasaur, Formula Jonah, Ollie Jelly, Kendricks. Stratting has definitely had some poor luck here so far this season, specifically on the technical side of things. So again, a couple things to kind of just keep in mind as this race starts to pan out. Of course, we are still just kind of waiting on moving into the main portion of this race. And sorry, there's a little bit less energy than normal, definitely. Not 100%, which is why the energy might not be as high as normal. Viperize, there should not be a formation lap, which is actually a good reminder for our drivers as well. Quick reminder to all drivers, there should not be a formation lap. There should not be a formation lap in this race, so keep that in mind before we start as well. So again, hopefully people heard that. Don't know who all has their game chat turned on or off, but should hopefully make us ready to go. Yeah, that's it. Viperize. That's my mod. That's the admin voice that I gotta put on every once in a while. Plus, the mic and like actual game chat fidelity is not stellar, I'm sure, but that'll a little bit of voice crack there. That'll happen from time to time. Also, personally, I'm also thinking of I have a video to make 1 second. 5 seconds. Okay. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights. And we are underway here in Hungary. Seems to be a good getaway from everybody on the grid, as we do have 16 drivers pulling away. It's going to be the Gavicho and the Haas going down the inside of Stratting as we go into turn 1. Stratting going to be later on the brakes. Bit of contact between the top two. Ferrari of Cam Ruddy's tries to sneak it down the inside, but makes contact with the Haas. Stratting going to drop all the way down to third, and it's Gavicho 1. Stratting going to drop to third. It's Ollie Jelly up in a second. There's Cam Ruddy once again trying to get up the inside of Isha in the background as we make a run down and now up the hill into turn 4, 2x2 behind the top 3. And as we make our way through, it's a good jump, and that's Isha running very wide as neither driver wanting to yield. That's going to cause Isha to lose a couple of spots. Yeah, good bit of shuffling on lap 1, and of course now the field starting to stratify out a little bit. Viperize already up into 10th. Strakasaur has dropped to 12th. Making you want to get back into commentary? Well, thank you. Definitely, have a little bit, mixed energy from time to time, but, Gavicho, of course, taking the lead. Definitely takes a lot of practice, definitely takes a lot of listening to yourself and, learning to somewhat hate the sound of your own voice. But it's part of the process. You kind of get used to it, and, definitely could use more free commentary. But the end of lap 1, start of lap 2, it's Gabicho leading the way by about 4/10, starting on a set of mediums, which is a good point. I forgot to check the tire choices. Yeah, mediums for a lot of the grid. Debo Croc seems to have gotten damage on that first lap as he's already into the pits. Hard's a selection for a number of drivers as well. Eric, Formula Jonah, Alcoholic, Strachosaur, Pancakes, and Rostamole all opting for hards. Kendrick's going for his tried and tested soft. Are you going to stream Group 3? I personally am not. I do have other stuff that I have to get to, so Group 3, doing both groups would be a little bit too much of a time commitment, sadly. Most weekends. I might do it every now and again. I do not know if that group will be streamed or not. As we make our way through the chicane for the second time, the gap behind Gabicho 3/10. Yeah, life getting in the way. That definitely happens now and again. Luckily I've been able to kind of plan around it with this, being a pretty comfortable weekend league. But bit of a train going on here from first back to sixth. Eric has started to fall away a touch while trying to get those hards up to temperature, which those hards will certainly take a second to get heated up, but once they do, that Aston Martin should start flying around the circuit, as tire wear shouldn't be a massive issue, so long as you don't take tires for a super long time and try to make them last very long. As DRS now open for the first time, Ollie Jelly giving it a look, but not able to find a move past, as it does seem to be the top 4 trying to battle away now. Here comes Cam Ruddy looking down the outside of Stratting as we make our way into turn 2. A little bit of contact there, as Stratting, I think, getting the worst of it. He'll drop down to 6th, as the pole sitter not having a great start. He'll fall behind Isha. That'll work to Eric's benefit, as that gap to the car in front will start to close. We have a new car up in P3. Didn't seem to be a massive amount of contact there, but seemed to be just enough for EA Physics to do its thing. But it's Gabicho and Ollie Jelly now, I think, looking to maybe try and make a break here at the front. Kendrick's then up into 4th, so good showing from him. Stratting able to get by Isha, though, as Isha's actually gone round somewhere in that middle sector. Not sure if that was due to contact or not. There doesn't seem to be any damage on Stratting's car, as he was the car behind. Yeah, not fully sure what happened there, but it's going to lead. That's going to force Isha back into 15th. As we start lap number 4 now, gap behind Gabicho 4/10, 3/10 as Ollie Jelly closing with DRS. Gabicho going to go defensive. Here comes Ollie Jelly down the inside. Gabicho will give him space. Going to push a little bit wide and get a little bit loose. So Ollie Jelly going to get a better exit here, and with a second helping of DRS, he's going to cover the inside as they run into turn 2, and you have a new leader on lap number 4. Isha actually diving into the pits there, so I think potentially some damage on the Sauber as well. So definitely not what you'd want to see. But again, tires can last a really long time around this circuit, so it's definitely going to be worth a shout to try and maybe go long, get a massive undercut. That's really wide from Eric behind in the Aston Martin, taking out one of those polystyrene boards on the exit of that 6-7 chicane on the right-hand side. Luckily, those are not braking markers, otherwise there may be problems. But Stratting now looking to kind of close up to the back of Kendrick's, but it's the top 3 separated by about half a second. It's Ollie Jelly going to be leading this time. It looks like he might get swarmed fairly quickly here by both Ferrari-powered outfits. As DRS open on the Haas and the Ferrari, Ollie Jelly going to go really defensive. He'll pull all the way to the pit wall. We'll go back to the racing line. Going to get defensive here, and Cam going to go actually into the back of Gabicho, not expecting the Haas, I think, to pull back over. Luckily, all cars seem okay. They've also managed to break a little bit of a gap back to Kendrick's. Formula Jonah as well, getting Viperized with DRS assistance as they run into turn 2, as they'll still battle side by side, running down the hill, and it's going to be Jonah who actually ends up yielding as Viperize finds a move around the outside. Got you, Harsh. This is not Jonah. This is Vacant Haddock. But that's good to know. I think we'll definitely get in touch with you after that. But Ollie Jelly holding on to the lead here on lap number 5. Yeah, Harsh, I do see you in that commentary chat. as well. So we should definitely have some time for you to get everything set up for the Group 3 stream. Lap 5, and that gap's still remaining very tight to cars behind. It seems to be 2 3-car battles, right? Actually, it seems to be 3 3-car battles. As you have Ollie Jelly and Gabicho, Ollie Jelly, Gabicho, and Cam Ruddy, Kendrick Stratting, and Eric, and Viperize Jonah and Alcoholic making moves. Stratting gets up into 4th. Eric will also get past Kendricks, but there's no change for the lead. Not a great exit there from Ollie Jelly. As can Gabicho get him on turn 2? He will. He'll slide that car down the inside after a bit of a mistake from Ollie Jelly. And then lap number 6, it's Gabicho retaking the lead. So it seems to be a 3-car swap there. Meanwhile, Stratting, Eric, and Kendricks, 3 cars with different tires, seem to want to keep closing up. And Viperize, of course, leading that second chase pack, trying to, continue to reel in that gap. As wide there from Eric, that's a big mistake. Yellow flags behind, not sure what that's for. Why were there yellow flags? I'm not sure why there were yellow flags there. Actually, no, it was for Gabicho making a mistake. Apologies, I missed the leader making a mistake. He's now down into 6th, so not fully sure what happened there. Not sure if there was contact between himself and Ollie Jelly. Luckily, he's not going to come off too damaged, but that does now make it a 6-car battle here for the lead. As Stratting has pulled that gap back to Cam Ruddy, who has now started actually losing a little bit of time to Ollie Jelly ahead. Yellow flag in Sector 3. I'm not sure who that was for. That may have been for either Pancakes or Rostamol. I'm not ultimately sure. Lap number 7, though. Still no safety cars yet, which is definitely good to see after a bit of an abundance of them in the Group 1 race yesterday. I think we ended up with 2 virtual and 2 full safety cars in that one. Maybe 3 fulls. Over the course of that race. Actually, no, I think it was 2 virtuals and 2 fulls in the first half, and then the second half we actually got to race. Viperize, though, first to receive a 3-second time penalty. Kendricks, though, has seemed to have made a bit of a mistake, as that gap to Eric ahead has opened up rather quickly. Those softs seemingly falling off a cliff rather quickly, as they really don't seem to have a lot of life. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Again, not sure who that's for. I imagine that one was for Alcoholic, though, potentially going off circuit and just having a slow rejoin. But that does make it effectively break it up into now 2 4-car scraps, effectively. And as we'll come across the line, to start lap number 8, Ollie Jelly once again going to have to get defensive here. So how much does he want to fight? The pole sitter Stratting is now here. Eric, definitely going to be an interesting guy there on the hard tire. Yellow flag for Sayao back in Sector 3. Ferrari, though, going to sneak it up the inside. Not a great exit, though, from Ollie Jelly, who's going to get loose. And Stratting able to get 2. Eric getting them both as well. And it's going to be Stratting retaking the lead. As Viperize really struggling with his rear tire. Eric, meanwhile, going to swoop around the outside as Stratting gets a bad run there through turn number 2. And it's now Eric getting 3 cars in 2 corners and retaking the lead as Jelly and Ruddy came together. But yeah, Jelly, it looked like getting a little bit too aggressive there on the power. Just got a bit loose. Cam Ruddy was taking a peek to the inside and just had nowhere to go, especially with the 2 cars behind him of Stratting and Eric. And we have a new leader here on lap number 8. Yeah, tire temperature is definitely a concern here, depending on how much you push that car, what your setup is at, how much anti-roll bar you're running, where that can all be a concern, especially in the bright sun that is the Hungaroring. But the Hards, I can definitely say from experience in yesterday's Group 1 race, very quick. Cam Ruddy actually going to dive into the pits here, so potentially a little bit of damage on the Ferrari. As he'll dive in early, Kendricks will come in behind him. Is there going to be a front wing change here? There is going to be a front wing change, so Cam Ruddy did sustain some front wing damage in that incident with Ollie Jelly, so that'll be changed. He'll slap on some hard tires, which certainly can go the distance here. But will he lose position to Kendricks now? I think he has. So Kendricks now will take over that lead pack. And he's actually opted for the medium tire. So soft to medium, definitely going to be a brave strategy here, especially if those soft fell off as much as they appeared to be with how much time Kendrick started to lose. But could soft to medium be enough to get Kendricks and Alpine some extra points? Especially since his teammate of Strakazor has really not had a very strong race, currently sitting 8th, 5.5 seconds back of Alcoholic, as his drivers' championship battle with Formula Jonah continues, who just gained an extra spot on track due to Gabicho receiving a 3-second time penalty. Eric, though, looking a bit loose there. Lowering your differential can help. That for sure, though 100% is definitely the meta way to go. Just because of that extra traction, especially when you're doing these 50% races, that's generally the way to go. As Gabicho and Formula Jonah looking to battle down the main straight, and with DRS, it'll be Formula Jonah easily making his way past, as he can now go chasing after the 3 cars out in front of him. Of course, he will get that second helping of DRS through the second zone, as Seo now diving into the pits, really not liking those mediums. Yeah, Viper is saying he's at 100 diff, which is definitely the quickest way to make it around. As Dawson actually going to retire from the session as he went really deep into turn 1, and that will bring out the safety car here. So definitely a big wrench now thrown into everybody's plans, as now what is the call here at lap number 10 of 35? Yeah, not really sure what happened with Dawson there. It looked like he just went straight on at turn 1, but that will leave us with 15 drivers left to go. Of course, couldn't see the incident just because it would be on the mini-map down in that bottom right-hand corner. But certainly interesting, as we'll have our first safety car of the day. So I think the interesting strategy call, I think if you're on the mediums, you absolutely go to the hards for the remaining 25 laps of this race. But what is the call going to be from everybody? Eric will dive into the pits. Stratting will follow. Jelly will follow. And I think we are going to see everybody piling on in. Jonah's in. Gabicho's in. Viper Eyes, I think, building a little bit of an extra gap to his teammate as they pull into the pits. But he's in. Here comes Alcoholic. Strakazor is going to dive in, use this chance at the stop. So actually, apologies, Alcoholic has opted to stay out as his teammate change tire. So Alcoholic will take the lead here under safety car, but of course will have to stop again and is going to be largely out of position on those old hard tires. Pancakes as well will opt to stay out, so he'll slot into 6th. Rostamol opts to stay out. He's now in 8th. And I think Debo and Isha, actually Debo and Isha will dive into the pits as well for fresh tires. Seyao will stay out and will hold on to 13th, but he boxed right before that safety car came out. So again, not much that he can do on that front. But definitely an interesting call from the likes of Alcoholic and Rostamol and Pancakes in order to stay out. And perhaps they're in the mode of expecting an additional safety car at this stage in the race. Or just, expecting that staying out on a set of warmed tires will work more to their advantage. I'd imagine those hards at this point probably sitting in the about low 20s, maybe the low 30s range in terms of percentage. Of course, that will depend on a lot on setup, especially those rear tires. If you're running the kind of meta of around probably like 621 on the anti-roll bars for your front and rear, that generally may be something that you'll see kind of go on. And again, it'll depend from driver to driver. But you're running that really tight suspension. Excuse me. A really hard anti-roll bars where you're putting a lot of force, a lot of weight into those tires. Definitely could change. Of course, this is round number 4 of 12. We've had a little bit of a break for the holidays, and as well, might be suffering a little bit of for that, just kind of based on attendance. But yeah, 12-round season. We do have Silverstone next week for all 3 of our groups, as Group 3 is making a bit of a comeback. to the LSR calendar. Their season should be about 8 races, but it'll follow the same kind of format, and that race should go live shortly after this one. But yeah, Silverstone next week, and then Singapore the week after, which that Singapore round will be full qualifying. So we'll get some extra racing around Singapore, which is a very challenging track, and maybe we'll see some changeable conditions, hopefully just in qualifying. Viperize, 100th in TT. Did you use the glitch there, Viperize, where you run a bit wide out of that final corner? Yeah, just as a quick note for that, we are going to outlaw that, just as a heads up. Where if you are caught doing that, you will get a race ban. So I would err against using that next week, just as a bit of a warning. But we should see the safety car message right here, as safety car is in this lap. So we'll jump on board with Alcoholic as he looks to get underway here at the start of lap number 13. So it'll be 13 laps to go next time across the line, or sorry, it'll be 23 laps to go next time across the line, as we are at right about the third way mark. And Alcoholic keeping a bit of a hot pace right now. Eric definitely staying right with him, looking to get the jump. Alcoholic keeping it very hot. We'll see if he gets engine limited. Hopefully not, but he's looking to go early. And so he'll get underway and actually won't get engine limited. And it's a great jump from the V-Carb, as Jonah a bit behind, looking to get a nice jump on Ollie Jelly as he takes a peek down the inside, but nothing going as a top 5 with a nice little jump there. Kendrick's able to overtake Rostamole as everybody makes it through the first turn without incident. Lap 13 here, and Alcoholic making his run down the hill a little bit loose through there. Cam jumping up into 9th after having to get that damage fixed. Of course, now he's back into the fight after having to get his front wing changed. We'll make our way into the bulk of Sector 2. The Aston Martin's maybe taking a peek to the inside, but Alcoholic just putting his car in the right spot to defend. The Sauber, Gabicho and Pancakes battling side by side. As Pancakes looking to maybe defend there, as Gabicho will get him. Kendrick's looking to now make a move as well through that twisty middle sector. It's very hard to get a move done, and Kendrick's will still do it. Stratton taking a peek, and I think that's a bit of contact. There doesn't seem to be any significant damage on any of the 5 leaders as of right now, because they all run nose to tail. Definitely a lot could happen, and Alcoholic definitely defending hard against the charging Eric. And as we can pull our way onto the main straight, it's still Alcoholic with the advantage, but can Slipstream be enough for Eric? Alcoholic going to be dumping battery. Here comes Eric looking to the inside and going to break late. Is Alcoholic going to look for the switchback here? No, Eric will slide up in front and will retake the lead here on lap number 14 on those fresh medium tires. Alcoholic just not able to defend quite well enough. Ollie Jelly looking to make a move as Stratton goes into the back of his teammate as the 2 V-Carbs come together. Stratton just expecting Alcoholic to take more pace through there, and is now retired from the session. So more V-Carb drama, and the pole sitter out of this race. So definitely really, unlucky there for Stratton, as he was having a very strong race, and it's his teammate that ends up being the dagger. And Stratton's luck just goes from bad to worse in this one. So Eric certainly in the driver's seat of this race now. Alcoholic, I think, just trying to do damage control now, as Pancakes now receives a 3-second time limit, or time penalty. Alcoholic, a bit of a lockup there, but is still defending. Ollie Jelly just looking to find a way through. Formula Jonah right on him as well. But DRS going to be activated here for Ollie Jelly and for Jonah. So here comes Jelly with a look to the inside. Jonah going to go as well, as Jonah maybe looking to the inside of both of them, but not quite going to get it done. Jonah, I think, going to also try and block off Alcoholic from getting that inside run, try and give Jonah the outside and DRS advantage as they run in here. He's going to try to sweep around the outside, and can Jonah in that Ferrari get it done, move up into the podium positions? He will. So Formula Jonah up into the top 3 and can now go chasing after the likes of Ollie Jelly and Eric, just try and potentially maximize those Ferrari points on a day that hasn't necessarily gone stellar for Alpine, as there's a Haas on the wall. That's Gabicho, who's gone round at turn 4. Did he have an incident with somebody? So Gabicho in the wall, and that's probably the Haas's day done as well. And so two of the drivers who were 1 and 2 have just had terrible luck today, as now they'll drop out of the race. Cam Ruddy now looking to find a move on Alcoholic. Again, really the only car in the points right now who's running on those old tires has still defended pretty well. Just trying to hold position, trying to get these drivers to burn out their tires rather quickly. But once again, he's not going to have DRS, and that'll probably make him a sitting duck here down in turn 1, and that red light flashing at the rear is going to allow Cam Ruddy past. Kendricks as well making a look down the inside, and actually Alcoholic going to make a little bit of contact. Here comes Viperize around the outside as well. Alcoholic maybe going to try to fight it a little bit, but will back out, and he'll just try to tuck in. And I'd imagine we'll see the V-Carb dive into pit before too much longer. Kind of did everything he could to defend, and ended up doing a little bit too much, as his teammate ended up being collateral damage there. Lap 16 of 35, and it's Eric with a comfortable 2.5 second advantage now. Ferraris, though, definitely looking to have a good day with Jonah and Ruddy. Of course, I believe Ruddy is... actually, no, it's Speedy Gunner. Ruddy is here in reserve for Speedy Gunner, and is having a rather good showing. Is currently in P4. And actually, setting the new fast lap of the race, it's 17.242, as Viperize looking to make a move down the inside of Kendricks, which he will get done. There's those hards for Viperize now starting to really come into their own. Kendricks, of course, is on a set of older mediums, as he boxed before the safety car came out. So definitely something important to consider there. As we kind of approach the halfway point as well, we can definitely take a look at who is definitely in the running for driver of the day. I think Viperize, after having that quali ban, is certainly up there, as he's gone from 14th up to 9th. Of course, we did have two drivers joining the session a little bit later. But yeah, he's jumped up into 5th and can now go hunting after the Ferrari of Ruddy, try and make it a better result for the Papaya outfit. As Ollie Jelly up in P2, just trying to hunt down Eric. He's closed that gap down to 2 seconds, so that gap continuing to come down as he actually pulls away from Formula Jonah, who Ruddy is now making gains on. Of course, you can see Gabicho and Strading definitely have not had great days, as the starting front two, the two fought for the lead into turn 1 of this race, now effectively all but out of it. But 18 laps to go here, if you count this one, as Ruddy finding his way past Jonah. Isha as well, finding his way past Kendricks on a fresher set of tires. A little bit of a lockup there, but Isha, formerly known as Guardian Knight, again, looking to continue to do well. Viperize now looking to hunt down Formula Jonah. And I think Jonah, if you're Jonah here, it's just point maximization here. The hards definitely seem like the quickest tires of the lot. So as of right now, I think it's just trying to hold off the kind of drivers behind, try and maybe stick with his teammate and Viperize as this race continues. As Gabicho steals fast lap with the 17.1, so just trying to take the point away from the Ferraris. Here comes Viperize looking down the inside. A bit of an unusual spot, but definitely gets it done. Some good racing there, though that will give Jonah the DRS advantage he might need to just stick with Viperize. Yeah, it's Aston Martin and then McLaren, Ferrari. As they look to continue, Isha, of course, still looking to hunt the rest of the pack down, though. But talking about that, leader there. 1 second now, the gap is down to between Jelly and Eric. So those mediums starting to fall off here. As we've been running for about 7-8 laps, so that seems to be that crossover point when the hards become a comfortably faster tire. And whether that's due to just the on-track temperature being rather high, whether it's due to setup differences as well, whether it's just due to having to work those tires a lot on a very technical circuit. Ollie Jelly closing very, very quickly here. Big twitch there from Eric, actually. So, yeah, maybe tire temperature is becoming an issue. We'll go ahead and jump on board with the Aston Martin. As you can see, might be tough to see, but that rear left is at about 226 degrees Fahrenheit, so incredibly hot. That is at over, I think that's, I don't think that's 110, which Viper I seemed to be suggesting earlier. Here comes Ollie Jelly, though. He's going to have DRS down the main straight, and really get it done under braking around the outside into turn 1. Looks to be a little bit of banging as they make their way through. Bit loose, though, for Eric, though it seems to be a solid exit. Second helping a DRS, though, for Ollie Jelly as they run down into turn 3. Again, a little bit of banging there as Eric gonna go wide, and that'll certainly be something to review, but Ollie Jelly barges his way through and gets up into the lead of this race here on lap number 20. Meanwhile, battle for third continues to rage on. Vipers, of course, will be affected by that 3-second time penalty for track limits. Again, certainly we could see that change as this race continues. We're going to have to wait and see. Ollie Jelly, though, continuing to pull a gap to Eric behind, who I think really just struggling on that set of mediums. And as we saw with Kendricks, that pace kind of seems to fall off rather quickly. And could we see the medium drivers, everybody who boxed for mediums under that safety car period, have to make another stop? And that would be great for the likes of Alcoholic, who's now dropped all the way to 9th, who I'd imagine we're going to see come in this lap as host migration. We do seem to be still okay, though, as was a little bit risky there. But all good. But Ollie Jelly now pulling away comfortably. Cam Ruddy now up into second. That's a 2-second gap to the cars ahead. Here comes Viper Eyes now looking to make a move on Eric, but he's going to have to sit behind here. Oh, did you get disconnected? Yeah, you did leave. We did have a host migration. I didn't know if it was just kind of you were sitting there and just weren't paying attention. That was a bit of lag behind. That was a bit odd. Formula Jonah now is going to have to defend from Isha. But yeah, Stratton, you did disconnect. So I don't know fully what happened there. You weren't behind your console. Got it. So I think it was just an inactivity thing there. But yeah, don't worry about it too much. I'll definitely be frustrated after an incident with my teammate as well. So don't blame you for cooking or getting food or taking a leak or whatever you opted to do. Viperize, though, going to take a look to the inside very early on Eric here. Is going to get a bit of a run to the inside. And, of course, will stay a bit in touch with Cam Ruddy there in second as his teammate starts to pull away. And, of course, that second helping will help him to close that gap. But about a 3-second gap now opened to Isha behind, as Isha as well able to get Joan, and he'll continue to defend. Bit of an inside lock there, but seemingly all good. The Alpines, meanwhile, sitting 7th and 8th, and a bit of a comfortable spot. Alcoholic, meanwhile, has still stayed out. Yeah, it is what it is, and everyone pits apart from one. Yeah, I mean, I definitely see where he was going there. I think, banking on an additional safety car is definitely a gamble that you don't want to make. I believe he did start on hards, so that safety car did come out at probably the worst point. I think you did break at a normal point, but I think it was just the fact that he had a car ahead and he had older tires was the kind of issue there, where I think he was being maybe a shade more conservative, especially because if he gets into an incident at that point, it is a death sentence, especially kind of in that run to turn 3 on old tires. Viperize, meanwhile, actually getting Cam Ruddy there. So with DRS, So those newer hards definitely working wonders as it now becomes a McLaren 1-2, at least on track, and Viperize can go chasing off after his teammate with 13 to go. Pancakes gets a 3-second port track limits as well. Isha has also opened that gap up to Jonah, so this Sauber potentially way nicer on this medium set than a lot of the other cars. We've seen Eric and Jonah struggle a lot. Same with Kendricks as well, as normally we see him more up towards the front. But a little bit of a struggle for the Alpines. We need water. Actually, I am going to step away to get a water briefly. I'll leave you with the leader as I'm going to walk away to pour it. But start a lap 24 here. And it's a comfortable advantage here for Olajelli. Actually, Isha able to overtake Eric down the pit straight. Eric actually opting to dive into the pits, as does Jonah. So new mediums onto the Aston Martin. And is that mediums or softs onto the Ferrari? It's mediums for Jonah. So Alcoholic still stays out. I think just banking on that safety car coming as he now falls all the way behind Debo, who actually, with a bad run through there. So he'll have to cede position back to Alcoholic, who I imagine at this point has to come into the pits. Unless he's just waiting for a safety car in those final couple of laps. If he wants any chance of points, definitely have to box rather soon. But that makes the Alpine position look a lot better. Will they now also pull the trigger with 12 to go to opt to come in? And it does seem that it will then be a 3-car breakaway for the win, with all the cars being on the hard compound tire. But yeah, I guess if you are Alcoholic as well, you're not in the worst of spots staying out there. It does seem that all those medium tire runners will have to box again. We'll jump to Isha, see what he opts to do. Isha going to dive into pits, as will Cam Ruddy, surprisingly. So Ruddy opting to swap off of the hard compound tires. The Ferrari opting for a set of mediums now. So he'll dive into the pits. That'll bump Kendricks up to 3rd. Yellow flag in Sector 3. That's for Alcoholic, who seemed to have made a mistake there. Doesn't seem to have been a tire issue. Maybe a coming together with Debo, who has opted to stay out, as has Sayao. Eric, of course, making his way back around. He's in 8th. But now, what do you do if you are the 2 McLarens in the lead? How well have you been managing your tires throughout this race? As now we got a little bit of an interesting development here, as a number of drivers looking to pit. Eric now up into 7th, as he now has a chance to close the gap with Cam Ruddy on the same life. About life of tire. As here comes the Ferrari now to the inside of Debo, and that move will be done rather easily. So Debo, I think, really struggling. Could we see the Williams dive into the pits here? Here comes the Aston Martin around the outside. They'll be side by side through 9 and 10. Very dicey there. Eric able to get it done. He does have to run off track a little bit there at the end, but seemingly no harm, no foul. As Debo starting to drop down the order, he's now going to have Sayao right on him. As you can see, that Williams slide to the outside just a little bit extra, as he will dive into pits here. But the Alpines both opting to stay out. And it's definitely a tall order for them. Eric setting a new fast lap, 17-0 for the Aston Martin, so as he tries to pick up that bonus point. Yellow flag in Sector 2, that's for the Haas of Gabicho, now facing the wrong way, coming out of turn number 10. And so once again, his race just continues to go worse. Pancakes almost collecting him there. That will drop Gabicho back to the tail of the field. Is actually they're going to have to reseed position as that continues. But I think if you're the McLarens, I think you just try to stay out, finish up this race. It does seem that Cam Ruddy coming with a good head of steam, and that's going to bring out the safety car. Gabicho trying to dive into the pits, made a big mistake there, and has brought out the safety car. So 10 laps to go, and once again, this race is absolutely turned on its head. So I think, so that's, you know, great for the Alpines, almost certainly, as Jelly and Viperize are going to dive into the pits. So McLaren double stack. I assume we'll see Alpine do the same, but where will... Cam Ruddy, of course, wants to get past, but it's softs for Ollie Jelly. Viperize, what does he opt for? Viperize opts for medium, so split strategies for the McLarens. Cam Ruddy now coming out of the pits. We got another host migration, as the host ended up being Gabicho, though we seem okay. Strakosaur 10 seconds for speeding in the pit, so his day is done. It's going to be... Cam Ruddy does manage to get out and split the McLarens. Seau will oddly stay out, so he'll be up into 4th. And it'll be a plug in Kendrick's bottle. Eric dives in. Strakosaur will still come out in 7th, ahead of Isha, who opts for softs. Formula Jonah is in 9th. But this will allow a number of drivers to make their ways back around. Actually, Formula Jonah going to end up in 10th, as Debo looking at, you know, try and get an extra position. And he will, surprisingly. He'll jump up into 8th. Could have got the 1-2. Yeah, could have for sure. Though I think you're still in a good spot here. Regardless. But yeah, Gabicho, I think, had damage there. And just took too much heat entering the pit lane. After that spin in Sector 3. Viper is actually with 6 seconds now. So definite loss there from him. And may have to play just the team game at this point. Of course, there is Seau as a bit of a cork in the bottle there. On 17-lap-old mediums behind him. So Eric and Kendrick's strangely swapping spots. As Kendrick's actually going to dive into the Strakosaur 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. So I think that was Strakosaur trying to make his way by. Does so early. And yeah, Strakosaur, I think, going to retire here, as that's now 30 seconds of penalties as he gets one for speeding in the pits as well. So again, just a couple of mistakes there from Strakosaur. And at this point, that safety car period is going to be extended a little bit. But it'll be no points for your championship leader in this one. Lowered the diff. Okay. Yeah, I can only see I was STR at the end of that fight. I assume that's probably that's probably because you were struggling with temp, is what I'd imagine with that one. But it'll be a sprint to the finish here. So definitely be interesting to see what happens to the likes of Kendricks, the likes of Jonah, you know, to Eric, who we've seen have a lot of pace. Rostamol gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits there. So the current top 10 will likely not change. It's just a matter of position. The makeup of that top 10 should not change unless we have any DNFs between now and the end of this race. So it does seem that the safety car should be in next lap. It seems that Strakosaur, yeah, doing everything he can to try and serve that 10-second missed lap. It will not be a super late safety car in message. This time he'll take his time entering the pits to not get any illegal overtakes. And he'll try and serve an extra 10 seconds to try and give himself somewhat more of a chance. There's Ricky Heckman saying hello. Hope you're doing well. Of course, we do have Group 3 coming at the top of the next hour. So definitely stay tuned for that coming up. As it will also be a new commentator as well, one that you haven't heard, that you may have heard somewhere else. But have almost certainly not heard here on LSR before. So definitely be ready for that. But we should get underway on the next lap. So we should see 6 laps of racing. He needs to fuck off, keep hitting to get rid of his penalties. Yeah, but I think Viperize, in your position, I think you want more laps of racing. Because I think on a restart, Seo is going to manage to hold off the likes of Kendricks and Eric, and that at least gives you a chance to build more of a gap to some of those cars behind. Especially on a set of mediums that you're only going to need for about 6 laps of proper running. Unless you're saying he needs to fuck off, stop doing that. As we do get safety car in this lap. So safety car has run its maximum course, so it'll be 6 laps to go. Next time cross the line, a bunch of stopping a little bit further back. I think just trying to build a gap. But it'll be Ollie Jelly, definitely in the best position here on a fresh set of softs and with the lead of this race. When will he opt to take off? Looks like it'll be middle of the final corner. How long will he hold off for? That's actually a Red Bull diving in the pits, so it seems that Rostamol made contact with somebody, but we are back underway here. And Ollie Jelly looking to break the toe very quickly. Kendricks and Eric looking down the inside of Seo immediately. You're going to go 3 wide there. A couple of cars fighting behind as well over P7, but as Kendricks moving up, Eric as well. So they'll move up into 4th and 5th and can now go chasing after Viperize. So Seo not able to hold off the charging cars behind him. So lap 30, they'll continue. That's purple first sector there for Ollie Jelly, even despite not having DRS. Alcoholic, 3-second time penalty for track limits there. So Alcoholic struggling to get up to speed. But Ollie Jelly making his way now through the S's of Sector 2 here. Of course, got the blast now down into Sector 3. That gap continuing to grow to about 7 or 8 tenths now. And we know as well that the mediums become worse than the hards after about 9 laps, which means that the softs should be in right about that optimal window, so long as, especially on lower fuel runs, where it should be all right. Ollie Jelly, of course, takes fastest lap with a 15.8, so pushed very hard on that first lap. Cam Ruddy, though, seeming to not be running a lot of downforce or burned a lot of ERS there down the pit straight. Is that gap only about 6.5 tenths? Alcoholic has to dive into the pits as well, so he likely had damage, and that's probably his race now over. Yellow flag, that is for the Alpine of Strakasaur, who I think got a bit loose there, but has managed to gather that car up and get back underway. Lap 31, and Ollie Jelly now potentially with the opportunity to try and secure a win from Cam Ruddy, who will have DRS at the end of this lap. Making his way now, the gap up to 9 tenths. Those softs really should really show up here. But a bit of a twitch there from Ollie as he's not able to really build that gap maybe as much as he wanted, as only 8 tenths. On exit, going to pull it up to about 9 tenths. DRS detection point is coming up here. Not a great corner, though, for Ruddy. He's going to have to try and make it back on exit. Did he do enough to salvage DRS? He has, as that gap stays under a second. Rear wing open on the Ferrari, the McLaren, the Alpine, the Aston, and the Sauber, as we got a 6-car train here on lap number 32. As Ollie Jelly runs wide there through turn 1, as a bad run through there gives him a 30-second time penalty, and that's big news for Cam Ruddy here to potentially go get a win. So that is a huge loss for the McLaren, as they're already struggling with Viperize having that time penalty. And that is 6 seconds. So we'll go ahead and also go ahead and show those penalties now. As a lot of these camera angles close enough where you can see that compound of tire. Got 6 cars in it, though. 2 cars, 2 teammates, though, effectively out of it. as they struggle to close up. Going to be 3 to go next time across the line, which means no full safety car from the time we cross the line to the end of the race. Here comes the Ferrari, though, to the inside. Cam Ruddy able to take advantage as Ollie Jelly with a bad run through there. Is that going to be a little bit of gamesmanship, though? Is that going to be a little bit of DRS chicken? Here comes Ollie Jelly now with DRS. It's Cam Ruddy looking to break the toe. Here comes Jelly to the inside. And he'll get on the brakes. Viperize looking to make a dive to the inside of both of them. And the McLaren's going to go side by side through there. So it's both McLaren's 1 and 2 now. Yellow flag in Sector 2. That's for either Rossimal or Alcoholic. As Viperize and Ollie Jelly going to continue to battle here. Despite their penalties, it's going to be a McLaren 1-2 on track. So a little bit of gamesmanship there going on there potentially to try and keep the McLarens in front and just maybe cause some sort of chaos behind. See if you can get Cam Ruddy, Kendricks, and Eric to start fighting, and maybe they'll lose enough time to try and maximize this McLaren finishing position. Bit of a slide there, though, from Ollie Jelly, so the softs potentially getting really, really warm here, as he's having to scrub a lot of speed through some of these higher speed corners, and Viperize closing up on him very, very quickly. Wants to get that move done, wants to utilize those mediums. Here comes Viperize looking to the inside of his teammate. He'll get that move done, though is Ollie Jelly once again just looking to try and trade positions here. Here comes the Ferrari to the outside. He's going to move up into second. Actually, no, he's not going to move up into second. Apologies. I'm still on board with Ollie Jelly. But have those mediums started to come into their own now? Once again, taking a look at who's on what tire. Viperize on the newest mediums. Perhaps that's working to his advantage. Cam Ruddy, though, with a bad run there. So it's still going to remain McLaren 1 and 2 on track. But again, 6-car fight here. Isha waiting in the wings for something happens. Eric, who led this race for a little bit, is going to be waiting to see if something happens. Ollie Jelly, though, looking to play a bit of a team game. Damage on Eric's car. Eric, I think, made contact with somebody. He's down a front wing end plate. Then the Aston Martin and this Alpine come together. A little bit of banging there through turn number 3, and then just got connected and couldn't get out of each other's way. And so it's mega damage for Eric, who's now going to drop down the order. Isha, massive winner there. He's all the way up into second now. Cam Ruddy, I think, got a little bit collected as well. Actually, it's Ruddy who has damage as well. He has a damaged end plate. So he has damage, and he's going to get connected with Ollie, and Cam Ruddy is out of the race. Ollie Jelly will also retire as they came together. I'm not sure if Ollie had any damage, but there's absolute chaos in the final couple of laps. So this does give, again, Viperize the lead on track, but it's Isha now who got mega unlucky, as with 2 corners to go at the opening round at Circuit of the Americas, suffered from a puncture in a mixed conditions race. And he is now in position to go after the win. Jonah, who was struggling on those softs, is now up into third. Kendricks is trying to chase him down, but with damage to that end plate, it doesn't look like it'll be possible. But absolute carnage in the final laps, and now Viperize fighting to hold on to that podium spot final lap, as he'll run a little bit wide onto the grass there. But Viperize is trying to run for P2 at this point. Gonna slide there. But absolute carnage in the closing stages means that the Kick Sauber, who was 6th in that field, was able to stay alive as 4 of the cars in front of him all came together. And so they'll come out of the final corner. It's going to be Viperize crossing the line first, but it'll be Guardian Knight Isha winning here in a chaotic end to a Hungarian Grand Prix. It'll be Viperize second. Formula Jonah ends up in third. Kendricks ends up having a nice day, coming in fourth. Debo then fifth. Strakasaur will end up dropping to 8th after penalties, followed by Eric and Sayao. Pancakes will come 9th. Alcoholic will be 10th, and Rostam will be last of the finishers in 11th. But absolute chaos there, as 4 of the top 6 drivers making contact in pairs. It's certainly going to be a lot of work to do for the stewards before next week, but congratulations to Isha, Viperize, and Jonah on those results. But that was absolute chaos, as Viperize is still going to receive Driver of the Day after serving that quali ban. But definitely going to be really interesting. But yeah, it seemed to be just hard racing for Kendricks and Eric. What happened between Ollie Jelly and Cam Ruddy was definitely interesting. But they'll celebrate, and definitely going to be interesting going into Silverstone. But it's Isha with 25 points. Viperize managing to salvage a day for McLaren that looked like it was going to be a 1-2. Formula Jonah takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship, but Kendricks manages to close the gap for Alpine, keep them in the driver's seat. In that, Debo in fifth in that Williams. Definitely was not a very quick driver today, as shown by that fastest lap, but staying out on those hards seemed to work to his advantage. Followed by Eric, Seau, Strachosaur, Pancake, and Alcoholic as your top 10 points. 15.864 for Ollie Jelly, his fast lap, but no point there. And a couple of DNFs. Ollie Jelly and Ruddy do get classified as finishers, but 2 laps down. But definitely stay tuned for later today for Group 3 action around the Hungary ring. And definitely tune in next week for Silverstone. But until next time, we'll see you.